Welcome to the Virginia Sea Grant Charter signing, which formalizes a commitment among 6 universities to partner to collaborate on common interests and indeed challenges faced by our coastal environment and coastal communities in Virginia. It is indeed a great occasion when we have in one room at the same time the university presidents, who will in just a few minutes be signing the charter, but also to have with us those who support us. Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam, Secretary of Education Ann Holton, Secretary of Natural Resources Molly Ward, Higher Education Budget and Policy Analyst Scott Sandridge from DPB, see Scott, and from SHEV, the Director, Peter Blake, and senior SHEV staff, and of course the Virginia Sea Grant Program under the Virginia Program Leadership by Troy Hartley as Director, and his staff, who with encouragement from SHEV have enthusiastically organized this ceremony this afternoon. The Virginia Institute of Marine Science at the College of William & Mary is proud to be the host of the Virginia Sea Grant Program and its leadership, and we are most pleased to be able to work cooperatively with the 5 other institutions of higher education in this partnership. Sea Grant is a national network of 33 programs located in every coastal and Great Lakes state, Puerto Rico, and Guam. Sea Grant has a mission to enhance the practical use and conservation of natural resources in order to provide a sustainable economy and environment. I've always viewed the Sea Grant program as one that strongly encourages partnerships and collaboration, and a program that is very, very effective at leveraging all across all boundaries to pull the best talent, the necessary resources, and the breadth of capabilities to fully meet its mission. In addition to education and research, Sea Grant, I think, does an especially good job of outreach or extension. In fact, Sea Grant was way ahead of the times in recognizing that it had a fundamental and immediate role to play in getting science out to the public and putting that science to work. Using the best science-based and technical information, Sea Grant works with local communities and other user groups to apply information to societal needs, to communicate through courses, workshops, and pamphlets, vital information that shows people how to solve problems in wide-ranging topics such as a sustainable aquaculture, seafood safety, pollution reduction, fishing gear development, and coastal community resilience. As I think all of you are aware, the Virginia Sea Grant Program went through a national review in September of 2013 for consideration for the highest level of program recognition or status that can be achieved through the National Sea Grant Program, college status. The findings from that review were that not only was the Virginia Sea Grant Program under the very able leadership of Troy Hartley and his expert and dedicated staff most worthy of college status, but that the program shows, and I quote, "Every indication that the program will continue to exhibit the highest level of performance into the future and seems on its way to become one of the premier Sea Grant institutions in the country," end quote. This is possible only through the partnership that exists and that we are celebrating today through this signing ceremony. I thank all of the partnering institutions for being here this afternoon, for joining with us and supporting the program. Sea Grant has a great future in Virginia, and the spirit of cooperation that already exists in the program, I think, is a most fitting opportunity this afternoon for formal acknowledgement in the form of a charter. So thank you very much for coming. Our brief program this afternoon is with some comments, starting with Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam, followed by Secretary Holton, and then finally the chair of our Council of Presidents, President of Old Dominion University, John Broderick. Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Dr. Wells, and thank you, Troy, for all of your work. And it's great to have a Secretary of Natural Resources and Secretary of Education. Thank you all for being here, and to have all of the presidents from our fine colleges and universities. I'd also like to recognize a superintendent from my alma mater out in Lexington, Virginia. Nice to have you here as well, sir. But just congratulations and thanks for your collaboration. I can just tell you that our mission, and speaking on behalf of the governor and his cabinet, is economic development. And we all know, I know especially, having grown up on the Chesapeake Bay, it was literally my backyard. I know the importance of a healthy Chesapeake Bay and coastal waters to our economy in Virginia. Just the watermen that make their living on the Chesapeake Bay. Tourism is so important. We know that it is important to have a vibrant and healthy bay. And just to brag a little bit very briefly, the aquaculture industry on the Eastern Shore now, the growing of clams and oysters is over a $50 million industry. So it is so important that we continue to promote the good health of our Chesapeake Bay. I was fortunate, actually, Dr. Wells, as you know, to have a Sea Grant Fellow as my aide for several years, Matt Strickler, who is now working in a congressional office up in Washington, D.C. But with his help and with his knowledge that he gained from your institution, we were able to do work on sea level rise. We worked on natural shorelines in decreasing the amount of pollution, the runoff that was going into our waters. And also we're able to take the phosphorus out of fertilizers. A lot of people don't realize that, but in order to decrease the algae blooms across the bay. So good things happen when we work together in collaboration. So I congratulate you for your efforts, and I encourage continued collaboration and work for the betterment of the Commonwealth, and we look forward to working with you in the upcoming years. So thank you all so much. Secretary of Education.
Lieutenant Governor, and thank you, Dr. Wells. Dr. Wells very kindly hosted me at VIMS back in the fall, and we had a wonderful visit where he and his colleagues told me, among other things, that my dad, as one of the early experimenters with their oyster aquaculture, had been guilty of eating the evidence at some point and messing up the experiment, but was a vigorous supporter in every other way. As am I, and I'm so grateful to these 6 universities for your collaboration and your work with the Sea Charter. So grateful to so many others of our university presidents for joining with us today. This is an innovative model. It's an opportunity to see what the amazing things that our already incredible universities can do when they put their heads together and work in consonance. And that's a model that we know you all are pursuing in many different ways. And this is a particularly important and valuable example as you work to be more effective, more efficient by joining forces to produce the greatest good for the Commonwealth. Virginia is facing substantial challenges and amazing opportunities in our coastal resources and communities. Together in this, as part of this Sea Grant model, you can maximize our intellectual capacity to produce resilient coastal communities, and we thank you. And with that, I hand off to Dr. Broderick. Mr. President.
Well, the good news for all of you is every bullet that was on my card has been taken. So I will just quickly say, I think you can see the importance of this by having all the presidents from the 6 institutions here. And what we see just in the Hampton Roads region, what the Lieutenant Governor alluded to, is a significant need for all of us to find solutions with sea level rise. And some of the places that we know, whether it's working with the ecosystem of the Chesapeake Bay, or how we're going to continue to mitigate, which is a problem that is coming not only to Hampton Roads, but to communities all across the country and certainly across Virginia. So this is important what we do, not only the research, not only the teaching, but again, also the ability for this to allow us to attract and retain excellent graduate students that are coming to our institutions and then staying in Virginia to help us work on this. So on behalf of all of the presidents here, we thank you for your leadership. We thank the administration for its support, and we look forward to, I believe, signing these documents in front of us, right? So thank you for doing this today.
In the box, sign and move to the left. 7 copies to sign.